China, first row, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA. So we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset?
The MAGA world is losing it over Trump's so-called Liberation Day. But the digital creators, they're having way too much fun dragging the delusion. From people celebrating like it's the second coming, to others hilariously roasting the fake hype, the reactions are priceless. And the best part? A ton of fake news is already swirling around. Some MAGA influencers are claiming that Canada backed out of its position. They didn't. And that Trump is only keeping half of the China tariffs, which, shocker, isn't true. Read this. And oh, guess which countries are not included in the list? Shocker, really. The big revelation of all time. Russia, North Korea, and two more. Ha! We'll see this faffawing big time. So in this video, we're diving into the most ridiculous online reactions, both from those celebrating this imaginary victory and from those mocking how desperate MAGA has become. What do you think? Is this just another FAFO moment? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more breakdowns of MAGA's greatest flops. It will also help YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. Just a quick note, full credit goes to the original creators of this video.
Happy MAGA Liberation Day. Oh, wait a minute. I was just going to announce that Trump is going to announce to the whole entire world, every single country, the tariffs that he has in place. And before we can even get 5 minutes into his announcement, Canada has already backed down. Every single country was like, Canada was the first one to say, well, if the U.S. removes all their tariffs, then we'll remove all our tariffs too. Do you realize other countries are tariffing us 300%, 80%? Just astronomical numbers that don't even make sense. And President Donald J. Trump waited to April 2nd to announce, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't a joke. And that's why I didn't want to make it April 1st. I wanted to make it April 2nd, because I'm very presidential like that, right? Our people are good people. Canada has just announced they're backing down. We're going to have free trade. That means we're bringing in billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars in. And to all those people who are crying, but tariffs raise prices, it raises inflation. Oh my gosh. No, it doesn't. It gets countries like Canada to back down. Oh, in Canada, you're looking kind of lonely over there, Canada. Donald Trump may want to make you a 51st state. See, because if you're a 51st state, you don't have to worry about tariffs, baby. You have the protection of the military, and the protection of our people, our great country. You can even keep the national Canada anthem. You could keep that. But you got to be the 51st state. And watch it happen, because when tariffs come into play, everybody wants to be fair and play with Donald J. Trump, that is. Tell him that, Jason. So, what I want everyone to do is to have fun and enjoy the money coming in and subscribe to Daddy Jason.
Donald Trump said today is Liberation Day. We as a country have carried too many other countries on our backs for too long. And to think Donald Trump apologized for saying, I'm going to put Americans first. I'm sorry to the rest of the world. Even though you've been literally ripping us off. Right now, China has 67% tariffs on us and we're only charging 34% back. Now, we are talking a lot of money, so you know what Donald Trump did? He said, you know what? Even though you're charging us 67%, I'm going to only charge you half. And we still good. What a nice guy. He could have said, now what you charge, I charge. Now, that's fair. But out of the kindness of Donald Trump's heart, he said, you know what? You got it. And it's not just China. There are so many. Donald Trump put up a whole chart of countries. And he's also not even blaming any other country. He's blaming America. The past presidents of America is how we got to where we are right now. But thank God Donald Trump took office. $6 trillion in under 3 months. How much more in a year? Y'all keep it up, Donald Trump. Keep putting America first. Because that's exactly what we voted for.
Oh man, MAGA is really out here celebrating Liberation Day like Trump just stormed the White House with a golden eagle on his shoulder. The level of delusion? Unmatched. I mean, look at this. They really think Trump is about to ride back into power and what? Fix everything he broke? Hate to break it to y'all, but this liberation is as real as his promises to build the wall Mexico was supposed to pay for. I don't know what's more embarrassing, the fact that they actually believe this, or the fact that they're crying harder than they did for their own family members. Trump's got them in a cult level chokehold.
Trump just got done signing an executive order that is going to have a massive impact on America, and that is the Reciprocating Tariffs Act, which means that if a country is currently tariffing us, we are going to in turn tariff them. All presidents prior to Trump have sold our American jobs to the next highest bidder. None of them have had the balls big enough to stand up to the rest of the countries around the world that are tariffing us. I know you people out there are thinking that this is the end of the world and this is just going to make everything skyrocket, when in fact it is going to bring trillions upon trillions of dollars to our country. It's going to bring millions and millions of jobs, which our country desperately needs right now. So for the ones that are freaked out, these tariffs are going to do one of two things. They're either A, going to get the other countries that are doing to us to stop, or B, it is going to get us even, so we're not being ripped off by every country around the world. So time will tell, but sit back and get ready for the biggest economic boom that America has ever seen. And President Trump, thank you for having the balls big enough to stand up to all of the countries that are currently ripping us off for the American people, the American worker. You, sir, are a true American hero, and we are so thankful to have you as our Commander-in-Chief. God bless you, and keep kicking ass. Small side note, we do want to see some arrests on some suits ASAP. Thank you.
Yeah, economic boom, all right. Stocks are going down as we speak. And if you're wondering where all this Liberation Day hype even came from, surprise! More fake news. MAGA influencers have been spreading lies left and right, saying Canada backed out of opposing Trump's policies. Spoiler alert, they didn't. Canada isn't suddenly pro-Trump, no matter how many AI-generated images they push. They're so desperate for a win, they'll just make one up. And let's not even start on the China tariff lie. The Trump's only pushing half the tariffs, not the full-scale crackdown his fanboys think he is. Classic MAGA. Believe the hype, ignore the receipts. Now, while some people are straight up worshipping Trump today, others, they're having a field day roasting this nonsense. Let's have a look at these videos.
Y'all, cheers to Liberation Day! Woo woo! I hope y'all are celebrating tonight. In case you didn't hear, we are liberating ourselves from all of our trading partners. We are also liberating ourselves from an economy that was expected to grow almost 4% in Q1 this year too! Minus almost 4%! Woo! Cheers! Bottoms up! We are liberating ourselves from our money! Tariffs! Tariffs are falling from the sky, y'all! 10%, 25%, 20%, let's go! We are liberating ourselves from our investment accounts! Whoop whoop, let's go! Watch those 401ks, y'all! Nothing says healthy markets like punishing every country around the world and your own people with higher prices! I hope y'all are celebrating tonight. Pour yourself a nice glass of wine, and you got it, guys. April 2nd, it's a day to remember. So exciting. MAGA! Let's do it. Lastly, I just want to say, normally I don't address things like this because, honestly, it's not worth my time or energy. However, if you think you can come on my page with MAGA BS, culty BS, propaganda that is easily disproven, valid arguments, that's one thing, but propaganda and cult-like rhetoric, not happening, guys. Not happening. I have a zero tolerance policy for culty MAGA shit. Don't come here with it. That's a boundary I set, and I stick to it because self-love, y'all. It's all about the self-love. Boundaries are the most important step in self-love. Have a great night.
Quote unquote Liberation Day in America. How are you feeling? Feeling liberated? Good. One thing's for sure, the markets sure were liberated of over $2 trillion after hours. We'll just have to see if that increases once they actually open. Baseline 10% tariffs on 90 countries. It's so ambitious that nothing even close to this has been tried since the days of Herbert Hoover, you know, the guy responsible for the Great Depression. But in fact, this is actually worse than the tariffs that were placed before the Great Depression. Happy Liberation Day. Not to mention, income inequality is actually worse than we had in the 1920s, and the fintech bubble is bigger than the bubbles that led to the Great Depression. Make no mistake about it, everything you buy is going to get more expensive. Literally everything, even if it's wholly made in the United States, because guess what? They have to make up for that loss in profit somewhere. We have pushed away every single economic partner we have. There is nobody coming to save us from what's about to happen. The American empire is functionally dead. I think the worst part about it, I still don't even know why he's doing any of it, because it's not like he's really set up to gain from destroying the American economy. Happy Liberation Day.
Stock market is down big after Liberation Tariff Day today. It's down 3.6% after hours. Here's why it's selling off and what I think happens next. Tariffs came in worse than expected, a lot worse than expected. So I laid out here the base case assumptions the market was pricing in for today. That's what the market expected. Here's what actually happened today. The policy enacted today is much more aggressive and far-reaching in nature. It's deemed a reciprocal tariff policy in which 10% baseline tariff across the board. The plan imposes steep rates on many countries, 34% on China, 20% on the European Union, 46% on Vietnam, and 32% on Taiwan. To clarify, the tariff on China comes in addition to the existing 20% tariff already in action. So really the effective tariff rate on China is 54%. There were no reversals of tariffs on Canada and Mexico. And guess how many countries are impacted now? Here's the list. 50. 50. Here's what I think happens next. So the stock market's going to very quickly price this all in over the next few days. We're going to see some red days, some pretty big red days, some volatility. Once that's done, I think the market is starting to bake in the fact that a lot of this could just be negotiations. Yes, and I think that it's going to bake in, and I know a lot of smart investors are thinking a very similar way, that the rates that we saw today are likely the worst and that they will likely get better. As more countries start negotiating, hopefully we do not end up in a global trade war. There's two potential outcomes. The first one is that the impacts of these tariffs hit fast and they hit hard. And a truce may be formed, but it might be too late. And this happened in 2018. And when this happened, the stock market dropped 25% from top to bottom. The second scenario is that as soon as the administration starts to see weak economic data coming out, they may decide to pull back on some of these tariffs, and the president may try to highly encourage the Fed to start dropping rates sooner than expected. We just need more data. And as I've encouraged all of you over the last few weeks, be patient.
Liberation Day, guys. We did it. Trump is back and gas is magically $1 again. Like, come on, MAGA. You all do realize the real world still exists, right? The online world is not letting them live this down. People are out here making fake Liberation Day celebrations just to mock how ridiculous this is. MAGA thought this was their big moment, but in reality, they faffled. Again. So, what do you think? Is Liberation Day the biggest self-own in MAGA history? Or is it just another Thursday of fake news? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more FAFO moments in real time. Doing so will help me grow my channel. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.